welcome to Boston, Massachusetts, the home of Wentworth Institute of Technology for the regional NCAA championships of the Division III men's volleyball. And quite frankly, so we have ourselves two really nice teams in the number 10 team from the NEVC, New England Volleyball Championship, versus the number 8. We're talking Nichols College versus Vassar. Vassar coming out of Poughkeepsie, New York, and they're the UVC runner-ups, whereas Nichols won the NEVC championship. My name is Scott Reslow, the former Johnson & Wales University men's volleyball coach, and now the new Wheaton College, Massachusetts head men's volleyball coach. And with me today, really excited to work with him, is the Misericordia. Now, I don't, college or university coach?
Misericordia University, Scott.
Misericordia University, Rob Wingard. Thank you so much for being here. Really excited to work with you, and this is going to be a great match. I think we're going to have a great couple of days together calling men's volleyball.
Scott, one of the hardest things to do every year is put together our NCAA men's volleyball tournament bracket. But one of the great things about our field being so competitive is that when these matchups start coming, holy cow, we've got some good ones, and I'm certainly licking my lips at the chance to watch these two teams duke it out for the first time this season.
And the best part about this, Rob, is that you've seen all these teams. You've played against all of them. You've competed against all these guys. You have hands-on experience on what to do and perhaps what not to do.
Definitely have an idea of what not to do. We did see all four of these teams at Misericordia during the year. We saw Nichols first. They took us down 3-1 on their way to a Cougar Kickoff Classic Invitational Championship. We saw Wentworth next up at Hobart during a very competitive weekend of volleyball. They took us 3-0, and then we saw Vassar about a month ago, 3-0, and we saw Lancaster Bible in early January. But there is a lot of offensive talent on both these squads, Scott.
A lot of balls will be hit hard. A lot of serves will be incredibly tough as these two teams go at it. The number 8, Vassar, the number 10 teams in the country. And as we get going, we'll bring you all the rosters. Right now, number 4, Nick Martin for Nichols will start us off. Serves it into Kim. Kim has the pass. They run the middle. The ball goes off the net. No, off the hands of Sirocco. And let's see here. I believe that was Dylan Knapp out of bounds.
Colin Jones can be one of the X factors for Vassar. When they have the middles running offensively, it's so difficult to dedicate your block to the two dangerous right sides. So I look for Vassar and try to establish them early.
Tough pass, which leads to an overpass, and Kim distributes it center 6. First kill for Mr. Kim.
He won't wow you with his stats on the roster page during the year, but Payne Lounsbury for Vassar has an absolute cannon from the line. Ball just launches off his hands as he grabs an ace there, Scott.
Yeah, Lounsbury comes out serving tough right off the bat for Vassar, and we got a 3-0 start for the Brewers. Probably Coach Gary's really happy with that. Get things rolling here in the regionals. Good pass from Normandin. They go to the middle. Knapp, and I don't think he clears tape.
Knapp, one of the most efficient middle attackers in the country, currently second in the NCAA in hitting percentage. Rare to see an error from him, especially so early in the match, and that looked like a design route to get him a one-on-one matchup there.
Lounsbury again, another perfect pass from Normandin. They go outside. Ball's rolled and dug, going into high ball. Kim's going to take a rip, actually roll. Dug by Sirocco. Another joust, and Kim's all over that, but it comes over. He's going to get it back, take the swing. Another dig by Normandin, an old-fashioned rally that we love to see early. Continues, high ball coming. Roll over the top from Billy Fan. And in the end, the block holds on Sirocco with Colin Jones and Billy Fan holding down the fort.
A lot of defensive discipline from both sides. You see off-block defense in and ready to make plays, blockers playing off the touch. You can tell that these are the most important matches of the year by the level and attention to detail from the student athletes early on.
Timeout, Coach Andre Foster. He's seen enough. He's down 5-zip. He needs to take a break, and this will give us an opportunity to catch our breath and start talking about the rosters and the guys on the floor. Let's go over Nichols first. Nichols, number 10 team in the country. The NEVC champions. They beat Eastern Naz in the finals. You got Nick Martin, you got Bryce Bonville, Jack Normandin, Dylan Knapp, Carlos Mercado, Cade Bernardi, and Tanner Sirocco. And really it all starts with Jack Normandin.
Jack Normandin is one of the most electric volleyball players in the country. He's going to swing from all over. They're going to move him around. And one of the most impressive things, he makes it look so effortless. You see some guys when they approach, you go, man, he's taking a hard approach. Jack just kind of moseys up to the ball, launches and takes off, and you're not sure when he's going to land. I would look for them to try to find him out of the back row on a bick with a quality pass from this rally.
And he's incredibly bouncy, flies off the ground, big arm on him, does a lot of damage.
And a lot of veteran experience from Jack as well.
Certainly. Payne Lonsbury continues his service for the Brewers. Jump topspin, this one goes long, good timeout for Mr. Foster.
Coach Foster takes the first point for Nichols. An early timeout. We love a good coach's point, that's for sure. And he's got a little smirk. He knows he picked that one up himself.
Tanner Sirocco back behind the line, the 6'6" senior out of Connecticut. It's going to be a free ball taken by Bonneville. And then I think they were trying to run that pick, Rob, but couldn't do so. Sirocco with the dig, rally continues, now he's out of the back row. The dig is good, counter coming, looks like Pham's going to get that rip. Block holds, popped over, joust, more fun happening, free ball coming. See what the Brewers do with it. Middle's on time, run Kim, dig by Sirocco. Bonneville absolutely hooded, and the ball glances off net out of bounds. We're seeing a lot of good volleyball here right off the bat, Rob.
The defensive discipline is great, but Nichols needs to clean up their process after that first touch. They're not getting clean transition attacks, and Bonneville is not going to be able to score against that Vassar block in a high ball situation consistently.
Colin Jones blows up Normandin on the float serve. Counter coming to the middle, and Sirocco stabs at a dig and it hits the floor. Good kill for Gavin Akoto, the 6'5" middle junior.
In our gym, we talk about service pressure in one of two ways. There's actual pressure from tough serves, and there's pressure from having to play balls that are inbounds. Vassar is creating both of those from the line right now.
Bonneville gets a full rip, but no can do. Jacob Kim dropped his hands into the angle and took it away.
The UVC Player of the Year showcasing early on why that is that way. One of the most versatile players in the country, attacking, setting. He's a tremendous blocker, defender, server. If there was a five-tool guy in volleyball, it's Jacob Kim.
And he's showing it all today early on as Jones misses his serve. It's only the second point for Nichols. Bonneville will go back to serve. He's a freshman out of West Waterford, New York.
A lot of Shenandoah on this Nichols roster.
Shenandoah is fun to say. I really like it. Kim gets slowed down, counter cone. Mercado goes over, dig complete. Let's see what they do. They're just going to set over. Mercado has it, high ball to Nichols. Actually, no, it's Sirocco out of the back row, and he misses long. He's probably trying to find hands there, Rob, and just missed.
That's a great swing from Sirocco. He's another really creative attacker. They use him all over. Just misses the high hands there. And what I will say is the Vassar scout absolutely has a page dedicated to Carlos Mercado's attack tendencies. He scores constantly as a second touch setter, and they were very insistent on not allowing that to happen today.
Served by Kim, and I couldn't agree more. Mercado's very crafty. He can score in a variety of ways as the front row setter. As we have a substitution here. In comes Braden Pomainville, and out is Nick Martin. So Pomainville, the freshman middle hitter from New York, another Shenandoah guy.
So something a little unique to this Nichols lineup is you'll actually see them use their libero on a right side and a middle, and not your traditional setup that you normally would. So the DS is for one of the middle spots. So it really forces you to look around and find where the attackers are coming from, because it's not your traditional setup.
Billy Fan back to serve. Next time out, we'll talk a little bit more about the Vassar guys. As Fan drills that one dead center of the net. Just a missed contact on his mark.
And folks, if you're tuning into a men's volleyball match for the first time this year, you got to get used to a few missed serves. You got to serve hard at this level, so don't get frustrated, but you're going to see a few more than you're used to in your backyard games.
Mercado, good pass to go right side. And the kill complete for number 6. Vaughn Ramsey entered the floor out of Denver, Colorado.
Vaughn's got a 6'6", lanky frame. He's on the right side. He creates some really sharp attacking angles. I think as the match goes along, we'll see Nichols try to slide up that right back defense to limit some of those angles he's got.
Right side in Norman. It's his first swing, and it's a bomb cross court to one.
I don't know what it looks like on TV, folks, but it's impressive here in person. Jack Normandin is like a space shuttle taking off from Cape Canaveral. He absolutely just rockets off the ground.
And now he's going to toe the line as the service area. Jump topper coming. It's a dirty float. Passed pretty well by Fan. And a huge swing from Payne Lonsberry as he gets the kill. Lonsberry out of Long Beach, California.
It looked like Nichols had moved Sirocco into the middle of the block on that ball, knowing that Payne was the tertiary option. And I would guess that Jacob took a little sneak peek, caught the right side, Pominville pinching in, and then they had a one-on-none up there, which is the easiest way to score.
That's a fun way to score. 12-5 right now. But the Brewers all about it. Oh, big dig. Kept alive, but I think it's outside the antenna. But a huge dig by the libero, Tucker Sherd. And he's a first year out of Englewood, Colorado. Okay. Usually Englewood, California goes together. Englewood, Colorado's sort of new one for me.
If you're playing your fun Nichols bingo card at home, we just had our first slide kill. It won't be the only one, so you can cross that off the list from Tanner Sirocco right now.
So, Rob, I got a question for you. Sirocco's running the slide. The last team I saw that ran the slide massively effective was Riviera University, which is where Norman did play most of his time. So you think Jack brought that into the field, or?
Nichols has always been creative, but I haven't seen many outsides run the slide like Jack does, so they definitely bring it in the equation quite a bit.
Payne Lonsberry back to his first starting service role. He misses this one. 13-7, ball in Sirocco's hands as Nichols looking to claw back here in set one.
After that hot start, Vassar cooled off a little bit from the service line, but they're still siding out at an incredible clip. Nichols is going to have to generate some pressure to get themselves going.
That's a mean serve by Sirocco. Well, it all starts with a Sirocco serve. That thing was monstrous. And it led to an overpass, and Knapp put the dent in the floor to finish.
Sirocco has that classic volleyball build. 6'6", long limb, jumps well, and he does a great job of contacting at a high point, leveraging that length and athleticism that he has.
He misses that jump top spin there, but it was a good miss. It was only out by maybe a couple inches. And a good miss in this world is anything that makes the other team go, wait a minute, should I? There comes Jones. Good pass from Normandin. They run the middle to Knapp. And again, he misses. Tape takes it away from him.
I'm not sure if Knapp needs a little bit higher, if he's late in the approach. He's looking frustrated at the moment. He certainly wants to get himself going to keep that middle of threat and try to open up some one-on-ones for the pins.
Jones again. This time going for Bonneville. It's an overpass, and that'll finish that by Billy Fan.
Fan is feasting on overpasses early on. That's his second of the match here. And we're starting to see the Nichols serve receive pinching over on Bonneville, giving Normandin and Bernardi some more court to pass, and they even have Sirocco involved in serve receive.
Knapp takes the ball off the tape. Now he's going to run the slide, and he misses long again. Oh, no, I apologize. They're calling touch off the block. Touch off the block led to the point for Sirocco's slide. An excellent play. And that's, again, in the men's volleyball world, that's not something you prep for very often. It's usually in the women's volleyball where the slide is a vital factor in generating kills.
What you'll see with them using that slide, it means that they can use Sirocco and Normandin on some untraditional routes. You'll see those guys hit A balls, B balls, 30s, Bics, 50s, and they have that backside threat brought from the middle. But Vassar continues to side out at a high clip. I've got him at about 90% right now in the side out game.
They haven't missed by much as Fan scores, and then Ramsey has come in with Kim back to serve. Kim rifles dead middle of the net. Net's starting to play a factor on that service. And you talked about it already, Rob, a little bit, about how in men's volleyball you walk this tightrope line where if you serve too easy, the other team runs hitting lines on you. But if you go too aggressive, the errors start to pack up. You have to find that middle ground.
Yep, and you can multiply that in the NCAA tournament because the offenses at this level are just so good and so dynamic, you can't allow teams to be in system.
So Kim became the setter and ran a play, and it led to, I believe, a net violation on Nichols.
Yeah, it looked like Pomainville was just a little late getting up, and when he was going for that press, just not quite under control, and it's too bad because that set was low. He might have been able to get a Kodo in the phone booth on that one.
Yeah, I think Kim came into the view late, and that's why I wasn't sure where he was. But he made a beautiful play one-handed there to get the ball to his attacker. Tough serve by Fan, ball goes into the stands, and it's 19-10, all Vassar here early in set one.
The back-to-back service pressure from Kim and Fan is tough. If you can get 2 first ball side outs on those guys, you're in a really good spot. But if one of them gets it going, you don't want to get stuck in those rotations. Oh, wow!
Mean serve right in between the 1 and 6. Miscommunication and all sorts of weirdness for Nichols on that serve receive. Coach Foster's going to talk it over with the official.
Yeah, it looked like Bernardi and Sirocco both had it out, but the ball showed up so quick on Bonville, he wasn't able to get out of the way in time, and that just goes to show you the pace that Billy Fan is putting on this ball back here.
Definitely jump top spin with heat. He's going to do another one, and that finds the back line for another ace. Back-to-back aces for Fan.
That's the ace you got to be okay to give up. You're sure it's going out. It finds that back foot. The margin for error is so small against a team of Vassar's quality, and especially with what they bring from the service line. I had talked about it with you a little bit before the match start. My guys at Misericordia said Vassar was the best serve pass team we saw in the country this year. 31 points in today. They're showcasing that's the truth.
Absolutely. Timeout, Andre Foster. That's his second. As Nichols needs to talk it over, they're down a lot to a little, and they're going to need to claw their way back in. Well, maybe even starting second set.
I can make it work. That's what I heard, yeah. It's all good. We'll make it work. Yeah.
Brewers reclaim the floor. It's 21-10. Here comes Nichols. Set one. And Andre Foster for Nichols has used his second timeout. And if you're Nichols right now, you're just trying to gain some positive points and try to take some momentum into set two. Granted, anything can happen in set one, but usually in the men's game, 21-10, that's a tough one to battle back from.
The other thing I would say that Nichols needs to start doing, they've got to find more opportunities for Jack. He's got one swing so far. That's your first team all-region kid. That's your conference player of the year. You got to find more ways to feature him in offense.
Cade Bernardi gets blown up by Fan serve. Ball dribbles out of bounds off the floor. Tough serving from this Vassar team.
Yeah, and they're in a space where they can be comfortable. They've got that lead. These guys are only going to turn it up at the end of the set.
That one out by 6 feet, maybe more.
I think that's pretty kind of you to call that 6 feet.
But at the end of the day, you said it perfectly, Rob. If they're comfortable and there's not a close distance in score, they can dial it up and go for broke and see what happens. Meanwhile, Mercado serves his long as well.
Yeah, Vassar just needs to Nichols needs to get something going from the service line. He was going for it all there, just didn't quite connect. And I wouldn't be shocked if we see a little razzle-dazzle out of this Nichols serve receive to try to grab some momentum.
The ball's definitely going to Jack if it's a good pass, I would guess. Oh no, they tried to set it over. Mercado has it again. This time runs it Sirocco, but he misses on the connection. Free ball to Vassar. They run the middle. And in the end, the polite excuse me kill by Colin Jones gets the job done.
That's one of the challenges with the creativity that Nichols brings to the floor and all the different moving pieces. Sometimes the center's thinking one thing, sometimes the attacker's thinking another. It's tough for everyone to be on the same page when you don't kind of have a template that you fall back to offensively.
Normandin rolls over top, and it's only his second kill, Rob. I mean, they're not feeding him at all.
No, he's got 2 tries. They tried to get him that bick earlier, and then it looked like Bernardi was getting into cover and kind of got in that space. We'll talk about it more before the start of the next set, but they might start in a different rotation or just try to feature him offensively early on a little bit more frequently.
Normandy from the serve, decent pass. Kim finds Vaughn. Ball's dug by Mercado, going outside, right side to Sirocco. The dig's good, another right side attack, and Vaughn gets the kill.
Nichols is going to have to find a way to be more aggressive in these transition out-of-system situations. You can't roll the ball at a program like Vassar. You got to find hard-driven attacks that force them to be uncomfortable. And with the 6-2 that Vassar's running, I'm surprised we aren't seeing them try to feature zone 1 more and have those setters taken out and have the liberos start doing some help setting.
Well, regardless of what happens, first set's over, 25-12. Nichols has to figure out a way to generate some offense and slow down this Vassar defense. And maybe it's even more simple than that. Hey, they have to pass the ball a little bit better so they can run their offense. And right now, that, like you said it at the very beginning, Vassar serve and pass as good as anybody, and the serving is doing a real good job.
Yeah, that's 100% the starting point. And Scott, I know you're getting ready to get back on the bench, looking ahead. If you're Coach Foster, what are you telling your guys right now after a first set that isn't exactly how you wanted your NCAA tournament debut to look?
Well, but that's me. I'm supposed to ask you that. But I will say this. If it were me right now, I'm going back to the beginning. Hey, we really have to work on passing. I would break down exactly how I want that pass to look. You know, some of these guys are serving so hard that we're not even passing the ball anymore. We're digging the ball and trying to put the ball to center court and allow us to at least get a swing. And then I would also talk to my setter and say, hey, we have one of the top attackers in the country. We got to feature him early and often. Like, it doesn't matter if we're in system or out. Give Jack high balls and let him do something, because at worst, he's going to maybe put them in off balance and maybe we get the ball back and be in system from there on.
Yeah, and Jack is such a good decision maker as an attacker. Even though he's a high volume guy, he's not high air. He's really creative. He finds different ways to score. We've already seen that showcased. So even with the size and aggressiveness of that Vassar block, there's no reason to not let him take some chances, even if there's 4 or 6 hands in front of him.
So set 1 goes to Vassar, 25-12. Nichols, 5 kills, 6 errors, and 19 swings, hit a negative. Only set it out 45% of the time. And look at Rob Wingard. 11 kills, no errors, and 19 swings. A 579 for Vassar, and sided out 92% of the time. You had it all the way.
If you side out at 92%, I think you're going to win a lot of volleyball matches.
Ain't that the truth? For Nichols, 2 kills for Jack Norman, 2 kills for Knapp. And again, if you look at it, Jack took 2 swings, he got 2 kills. Ride that, right? You got to get after it. Mercado with 4 assists. And that's pretty much where we're at. 2 digs for Tanner Sirocco. Meanwhile, for Vassar, 3 kills for Billy Fan, 2 kills for Mercado, and 2 kills for Jones and as well Vaughn Ramsey. 5 assists for Jacob Kim, 3 for A.J. Erickson, 4 aces for Billy Fan, and that's where we're at. So if you're looking at aces, 5 for Vassar, 0 for Nichols. Both had the same amount of digs. Blocks are in Vassar's favor, but only by 1. But you look at that hitting percentage, 579 to negative 0.53.
Yeah, and if I had to take a guess, I'd say about 4 of those 6 Nichols errors are in transition opportunities. So those Vassar, those 8 zeros, those digs that Nichols is producing, that's all well and good, but it's only substantial if Nichols can turn it into offense. And as much as serve pass is going to be in effect, if they want to take that next step forward, the transition offense is going to have to come with it.
So both teams retake the 4. Doesn't look like there's any different lineups.
We do have Nichols starting a different rotation. For our folks at home who are used to their rotation numbers, you're looking at Nichols in rotation 6. In our gym, we would call that rotation 2. We always base it off where the setter's at.
Yeah.
But that means Normandin is in the front row earlier, and that's probably so they can try to get him the ball more than twice this set.
I think you got to live with him starting in position 4 all day. He's got to get the volume sets from here on out. Good pass from Bonneville off a tough one. They run the slide to Normandin. Block holds, dig counter, and now Mercado's going to take a swing. Fan's got the dig. And in the end, it's Colin Jones with a 31 for the kill.
I'm not sure if it was by design or not, but the Vassar short serve brought Bonneville right in the path of the Normandin slide, so the tempo is thrown off. If that was intentional, the level of scouting from Coach Gary's squad is all over it.
Mercado goes right side, and then Sirocco trips on Bonneville and doesn't make an attempt. Tough break there. I mean, that's one as a coach, you say, look, unlucky, next one. But you could see Sirocco was sort of frustrated as he was trying to get in there for the D-ball.
And this is the tough part. You've got one of the Vassar float servers right now. AJ, not one of their more aggressive guys, and he starts with 3 straight points.
Erickson drops the ball off the tape right into 3, or you could say 0. An ace for Erickson. It's already 3-0. Not the way Nichols wanted to start set 2. Erickson again. Decent pass from Bonneville out to Norman, and Norman's going to take a huge rip, but there is nowhere to go. Jacob Kim and Colin Jones, they say no.
Colin Jones has really found his stride as this season has come along. Vassar's got a lot of talent, a lot of depth. They use that squad depth for rotation in the middle. But Colin, like I said, really finding his stride at this point in the season, which is when you want to be playing your best volleyball.
Another ace for Erickson as Bernardi just doesn't have it. And we got a mirror image of set 1. Nichols down 5-zip. See if Erickson goes after Bernardi again. Nope, this time goes Bonneville, and Bonneville distributes it to the scorer's table. So Nichols going to make a change. They're going to get Bonneville out of there, bring in Josh Churko. Churko, first year out of Mount Airy, Maryland.
If I were Coach Foster, I'd maybe think about a timeout, finding a way within your rotations that you could get Normandin stacked in the center. Jack Normandin scooped by Billy Fan.
Dig. But in the end, the pick was really true for Sirocco, but what a great dig by Fan on the slide from Normandin.
And great communication from the Nichols side there. Normandin stayed on the right, Mercado blocked in the center. Sirocco saw that, transitioned his route into the Bick, kept the offensive balance for his crew there. Really nice side out.
Mercado with the serve. They're in the middle to Kim. Dug by Mercado. High ball to Normandin, who rolls, and that finds the floor. That's back-to-back rolls for Normandin for kills, because he didn't get the kill on that big bomb slide.
And I'll tell you what, if that was 6-2 in the first set, that ball's dug out with that level of attention to detail. Vassar looking a little bit more relaxed on the defensive side of things now.
Normandin, solo block. Took away Lounsbury's line. No, it might have been Angle.
Payne, you will never catch him not smiling on the floor. He's a kid who enjoys the game. He enjoys the moment. But Normandin really starting to put some things together now.
Huge dig by the libero. It's going to be a high ball to Normandin. He chops it out of bounds for the kill. And finally some emotion for Nichols.
Folks, I don't know if you can hear it at home, but the gym is rocking as Nichols puts together a little run to shrink this set 2 deficit.
Well, it's safe to say that there's more people from Nichols than Poughkeepsie, New York here. As Colin Jones, again, fires through the block and gets the kill.
AJ Erickson doing a nice job. They're trying to locate where Tanner Sirocco is blocking at. They're moving him all over. They saw him on the right side for that ball. Means they try to take advantage of the middle and run Colin Jones for a nice kill there.
Lounsbury handled by Normandin. He's going to get it back. Huge rip, high hands expand.
We called it, Scott. He had 2 swings in set 1. He's already had 6 more here to start set 2. It makes sense. Get the ball to your best players.
You're in the NCAA tournament. Find your horse and ride. Let's go. And Norman is such a fun player to watch, as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast. Let him run. Very good pass to go right side. Kim goes either long or off hands, so he got hands. Yep, got hands.
And I am going to give Tucker Shern some love there. Normandin, such a dynamic server. He goes with that top spin toss. He gets to the height of his jump. Then he makes decision on a float serve or a top, so you can't adjust. But Shern tracks it really well. Dime pass for the side out from the freshman.
That dirty float's always miserable to pass. Good pass by Banville. And it's going to be a tough set. Free ball coming. Vassar looking to run the 31. Kept alive by Nichols. Going to be a free ball over. Tough first touch, and now high ball. Kim's going to get 3 blockers to deal with, just sets it over. Mercado's looking to Bonneville. There's nowhere to go. That block was huge by the Brewers.
There is so much size and athleticism
on that Vassar block, which makes it good, but their technique and their coordination is what makes it great. You're seeing 6 hands all peeking and piking in front of you at the same point. Bonneville never stood a chance on that swing.
31 for Sirocco, and they're going to call a net violation on Akato. Akato had it red, just got it with his, I guess, his elbow.
Yeah, I think he had it on the way up. It wasn't at the top of the block. He was clean there, but obviously made some contact during liftoff. Nick
Martin has the ball for Nichols and will serve. This is the closest they've been in a while to this Brewer team, down 3, 9-6. Fan takes a rip, kept alive. He's going to get another one, but with no approach, and doesn't clear the net.
Dylan Knapp needed that positive block touch. His offense was struggling early on. Him and Sirocco get a great setup. The cover doesn't work out its way. Let's see if we parlay that into some positive energy for him to start making some plays on the other side of the ball when the opportunity presents itself.
You're absolutely right, Rob. They need Knapp to get going. And a nice ace by Nick Martin helps the cause too.
Service pressure, service pressure, service pressure. Nichols is starting to throw Vassar out of system, get some of those knockout situations, and no one sides out at 92% when you're not passing a 3-0.
That's true. Right side, roll over top, dug by Sirocco. It's going to be just a jump swing from Norman, in counter coming. And a huge rip by Kim. He's over top of everybody on that. Woo.
If you're seeing the OT chants at home, it was true. I'm not sure Jacob Kim was in the atmosphere when he made contact with that ball.
I mean, it looked like he touched the top of the antenna on that swing. It was pretty nice.
And that's where that Nichols transition attack needs to go to right back, so you can put Vassar into at least a 2-attacker situation instead of allowing them to run all 3.
And an ace by Kim as he takes on Bernardi in position 1 and just rifles it off him. The service pressure from Vassar intense, and it really hasn't let up even in the middle of set 2.
No, and it looked like Bernardi is now adjusted. He's sitting a little bit deeper. I wouldn't be shocked to see Kim try to go off speed, find him on an angle.
The net slows it down and stops it. Side out Nichols, and Sirocco will toe the line. They're down 9-11 here early in set 2.
Sirocco is one of the servers able to get some pressure from Nichols in the set 1. See if set 2 doesn't look the same.
Von Ramsey terminates right in 6th, and he was above everybody too.
When you're playing Vassar and Jacob Kim goes back to serve, you think you can relax. He's finally in the back row. But then Von Ramsey comes in just as big, just as athletic, and you're thinking, man, there's never a break with these two.
And Ramsey flies, has got the best beard. See, I'm a beard guy. If you know me, I love beards. He's got a fantastic beard.
He's got that Colorado mountain man.
That's right. And he gets a hood himself with a solo one-on-one. 13-9 Vassar.
It's tremendous eye work from Ramsey. It looked like Nichols is trying to run an inside route there, maybe catch the block, leaving early. Ramsey doesn't bite, stays inside, and nowhere to go for Bonneville there.
Tough serving, disciplined blocking. Hard to beat that combo.
It's one of the reasons Vassar was in the Final Four last year.
And here's Fan, and even Normandy gets blown up. It's going to be a free ball over. Kim has it. All set beautifully by Fan. Unfortunately rolled by Ramsey. Lunging dig, kept alive. Well, they're going to say that Kim hit the net as he tried to bring it out.
So we see it there. Nichols takes the transition attack to zone 1, gets Vassar out of system, and they're able to get a second swing out of it. They've just got to be really disciplined with some of these balls they think they're not scoring on, getting them to the right location rather than allowing Vassar to run in-system offense.
And that's half the battle, is recognition of when you have a chance to score and when you have to be crafty and make the other team uncomfortable. Churko back in to serve for Nichols. Going to do a jump float. Decent pass to go outside. Lonsberry tips, kept alive. Ricardo fights through and at least gets a ball over. Ramsey has the set over. Oh, very interesting play by Ramsey. Let the ball float by his shoulder and then pop it down into position 4.
I was joking with another coach that Von Ramsey almost does a comical job of how open he gets on the right side, letting the ball come across his body. And then we see a reverse back 1 to Ramsey, and he gets to showcase that skill here.
Cotta going outside of Normandy. He's got a huge block, tries to use it, but kept alive. Fan's going to set Lonsberry. And the block holds by Dylan Knapp, and like you said, he's needed some positive energy. That's going to aid.
It's another out-of-system attack for Vassar. Payne Lounsbury can score the ball. He's not a great high ball scorer. He wants to be in system. He wants to see those one-on-ones. The Mercado-Knapp blocking duo is a big one, so if they can get set up, they can generate some positive touches just like that.
And Dylan Knapp misses the serve. It's 15-11 Vassar.
But if you're Coach Foster, if you said, hey, we're going to go down 5-0 after the first server, but then you finish your first run of rotations and you're at 15-11, you'd take that every time.
Yeah, I mean, it means you're clawing back and doing some damage at least. And then if you're Nichols, all you're looking to do is stay close, see if we can get one here. Erickson with the serve. Tough pass set over by Mercado, kept alive. Then the 31, and Jones gets it.
Shern is like a mongoose out there. He sees the snake pop out, and he's all over it. He was ready to drop for that outside ball, reads the dump, scoops through it, and doesn't just pick it up, but keeps the Vassar awesome offense in system off the dig.
Yeah, a lot of volleyball fans love the attackers, but give me a good, small, really agile libero, and life gets really cool. And the block there holds for Vassar as another error for the Nichols side, this time for Jack Normandin. Timeout, Andre Foster. He's down 17-11.
Has got to be a little bit more patient on those out-of-system balls. He's underneath all of them. It's forcing him into those off-speed roll shots. If he can be a little bit more patient, keep that depth, he'll be able to find the edges of the block or go high hands with a little bit more effectiveness than the high ball attacking he's doing right now.
So Vassar up 17-11. They win the first set 25-12. Let's quickly go over the starting lineup for Vassar. We haven't got a chance to yet. Tucker Shern, the first year at Englewood, Colorado. A.J. Erickson, senior out of San Diego, California. Jacob Kim, the senior setter and attacker from Pleasanton, California. Billy Fan, Saratoga, California. He's a junior outside. Gavin Acado, the junior middle blocker from Justice, Illinois. Colin Jones from, San Diego, California, and Payne Lounsbury from Long Beach as well. A lot of Cali guys on this side.
And I had mentioned it a little bit earlier. One thing that we haven't quantified well enough yet, this Vassar team has NCAA experience. Been there the last 3 years, in the Final Four last year. A lot of these guys on the floor in that match. They've been here in this moment before. Aside from Normandin back in 2018, new for all of these guys from Nichols on this stage for the first time. And the UVC in the conference play prepares you for moments like this. The NEVC, while becoming more competitive, not one of the top conferences in the country. So Nichols hasn't seen competition quite like this in some time. Nichols
has tried to really do a nice out-of-conference schedule to prep them, but you're absolutely right. The UVC is an absolute war zone.
Yeah, if you're playing Wentworth twice, Springfield twice, LaSalle, Misericordia, your non-conference slate is no joke, but it's tough to match up with the experience these Vassar players get with their schedule during the year.
So 12-17 Nichols, Mercado with the serve. Pretty decent ball. They're going to go to the middle to Jones, and he hangs for a second, waits for the block to adjust, and then terminates.
It's such a tough rotation. You've got Kim on the left and Jones on the middle, and you can only have Sirocco dedicate to one of them. So Erickson's just taking that look, and they're matching up the block well.
Lounsbury. Pretty good pass for Nichols. They go right side to Normandin, and really he was above everybody. Pretty big swing by Jack Normandin.
I wonder if in between sets we can get a contest going where we just toss a ball up between Kim and Normandin and see who's going to get there first.
They're both really electric jumpers. And then, in a couple hours from now, we're going to see the big guy, Jacob Baboulier for Wentworth, who isn't an electric jumper but 6'9" and flies anyway. All three of those guys could live at the top of the antenna. Kim sets the ball over to position 2 and gets the kill.
And that comes from an adjustment from set 1. You saw Nichols picking up all the off-speed shots just behind the block. Well, you can't defend everything. So they clearly talked about it. Coach Gary is elated. They said, hey, let's go number to number with that shot, and no one home to pick it up.
Normandin fights off a real tough set and ends up using the block. and having the ball ride the net out of bounds. A little luck helps sometimes when you're trying to stay alive.
And even that was an out-of-system ball.
Super
Normanton was able to stay behind it and be a little bit more aggressive on the attack. He's got to do the same thing when he's in position 4 in the front row.
Yeah, I think he struggles when he tries to chip and look away. He's got to stay behind the ball and really see the block and make better decisions. But such a good player. Good pass by Fan. They go right, the middle to Mercado. Good dig by Mercado. A defensive dig. Things moving faster than I can speak. Lonsbury gets hooded by Knapp, 1-on-1.
Knapp is such a catalyst for this Nichols squad. The production of Normanton and Sirocco might be more important, but the energy from Knapp is essential, and he's starting to find his groove as a blocker here in set 2.
Nick Martin down 4, gonna roll to Fan. And Mercado scores from the Erickson feed in the front 1. Good stuff there for the Vassar Brewers.
I don't think there's a good place to take your serve against Vassar, but I can tell you for sure, Billy Fan is a bad place to take that serve. He is out there. That platform is golden, and if they're going to keep putting balls on him, he's going to keep Vassar in system very frequently.
Jacob Kim, big toss, huge swing, perfect pass. They go big to Normanton, and I guess it finished on Vassar's side. Get another kill for Mr. Normanton.
Normanton gets the kill, but a really important ball for Bernardi. Kim has been going at him every time. For him to stick that pass, all region libero, that should help him build some confidence when he has to play some tougher balls later on.
Finally, Vassar's uncomfortable, and then Mercado sets it over and gives him a break, but it ends up being a kill. See, I sort of hate that play, but at the same time, in a proper situation, you get what happened there and you find yourself an easy point.
If you're Nichols right now, you don't hate anything that gets you a point. I know that Vassar will be fired up. Every scout about Nichols talks about Mercado's offense, but they'll take some stuff if it's a freebie where they can get it.
Right side. Oh, it's sort of a missed jump, maybe a slip by Fan.
And this is where we talked about Knapp's energy being a catalyst. We see him pick up a transition point from Mercado. We see a good serve in. The Vassar offense shows a little bit of a glitch in the matrix for the first time. And all of a sudden, we're in a 2-point game. We haven't been this close since it's been 2-0 in set 1 or set 2.
Exactly. The moment for Nichols is now. Vassar, couple hiccups, and certainly even play between the two. And a lot of it has to do with Bernardi from Nichols passing the ball a little bit better in set 2. Allowing this Nichols side, allowing the Bison to stay alive. Sirocco with the serve, and he gets an ace. Timeout Vassar, the first one they've used in the match. Nichols only down 1, and the Sirocco ace brings plenty of noise from the Tansy Gymnasium here in Boston, Massachusetts, on the home campus of Wentworth Institute of Technology.
I had just warned Nichols against serving Billy Fan, and Sirocco looked at me and said, bet. Great thumb-up serve from the sideline, and an especially effective serve when you're in rotation 1 and you've got your setter traveling up. It gets into that weird in-between zone. He doesn't know if he can make that move. Really nice ball from Sirocco there.
2019 timeout Vassar. Coach Gary's going to talk it over. Let's talk a little bit about Rich. He's been in this game plenty, been to the Final Four a couple of times, if I'm correct. Is it a couple?
Correct.
Yeah.
I think at least 2 Final Fours for Coach Gary.
So he's done a real nice job, built a wonderful program in Vassar, and this isn't his first rodeo.
Yeah, 2-time AVCA Region Coach of the Year, including the last 2 years. He's our reigning National Coach of the Year after their exceptional season last year. And while they weren't able to close out the UVC championship match, they were the #1 in regular season champs in the UVC, which is nothing to scoff at.
Meanwhile, Audrey Foster, a first-year coach, taking his team to as high as 10 in the country, and here they are in the regional finals.
First year has given him a lot. He had to take over this spot in the middle of the season.
That's true.
Casey Fitzpatrick had new opportunity and left, but Andre's done a great job with his inheritance.
Vaughn Ramsey terminates to get Vassar out of the rut. Side out, and now Billy Fan will serve.
Difficult. If you're game planning, you want to put your best perimeter blocker on Jacob Kim, but like we joked about earlier, then Vaughn Ramsey comes up to the front row, and what can you do with him? Do you have a second guy with that size and blocking ability? A lot of teams don't.
Defensive pass by Bernardi. It's going to be a right side attack from Sirocco, and he uses the triple block out of bounds. Gets the side out. Nichols remains only one down.
The triple block from Vassar there, way too aggressive. Never checked the set quality. They were prepared for a D ball from Sirocco. Looks like they ran that C more inside set. So Lounsbury and Akoto weren't even taking away court. So even though Sirocco saw 6 hands, he only had 2 of them he needed to beat.
Josh Churko comes in to serve, as happened all set 2, and he's done a nice job. The jump float. Lounsbury has it. They're in the middle to Akoto, and again, Akoto is flawless in the middle. I don't think he's been slowed down once.
No, the Vassar middles are having quite a day so far. Akoto is now 4-0-6. Jones 6-0-7. Good volume, fantastic efficiency from those 2.
Akoto with the serve, and the net says no. Keeping Vassar only up 1.
If there's an MVP at the end of the set, I'm going to assume it might be Nichols women's athletics there. I don't know if it's volleyball, basketball, soccer, but they're living rent-free in some Vassar heads right now.
They definitely got in the head of Akoto for a hot second there. Knapp back to serve. Very good pass. They go to Vaughn, and Ramsey terminates on Normandin one-on-one.
And that's the threat of the middle. When you're so efficient and you've got so much volume, Normandin gets held a little bit too long with Jones there. He's late to the block, and Ramsey's always going to take advantage.
Timeout Nichols. They're down 23-21. We only played at 25 here. So set 2 theoretically in jeopardy for them, and probably a good timeout by Coach Foster to settle everything down, get a good first pass here, and run some offense.
I had referred to it earlier. You're going to be in rotation 6 here if you're Nichols. That means Normandin, your best passer, is all the way on the left. That gives Vassar an entire half of the court to attack. With how creative they are with Jack Normandin, I wouldn't be shocked to see them slide him into the middle of their serve receive, try to cover a little bit more space. We know he's comfortable attacking behind, in front, left,
everywhere.
Right, up and down. He'll be all over. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little shift, or maybe they'll bring up Sirocco to pass in this situation.
So Nichols retakes the floor. Real quickly, there were 24-4 on the season. 2 of their losses were to Wentworth here. One was here and one was on the road.
And the other 2 were Springfield, who they're in the tournament too, so no joke losses on the Nichols schedule.
And then meanwhile for Vassar, 23-7. And as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, they lost NYU in the UBC championship. They're going to take Sirocco out, bring in number 2, Evan Sachs, a setter right side from Long Island, New York.
I like this change here. They're turning Mercado into her right side. 3 opportunities to attack. Gives us a little bit more offense so the block can't dedicate to Normandin quite as hard.
Erickson goes after Bernardi. It's okay. They're going to go Mercado on the right. Mercado is dug. Shern with the high ball. Kim takes a rip. Great dig by Churko. Norman's going to get his swing, and it's going to go off hands of Fan out of bounds for the point and the side out. And again, Nichols only down 1 with a couple points to go.
What a play there from Josh Churko. Great out-of-system set. Gives Normandin that chance to swing. Keeps Nichols alive and puts us into a situation where we could be looking at a deuce here in this set.
Sirocco back in the game. Mercado goes after Shern, passes a good ball. Jones, that's one that Mercado has 90% of the time. He just missed it. Lucky for Jones, lucky for Vassar. It's set point for set 2.
As a former setter myself, you never want to make a dig. It's just not as much fun. But it looked like Sirocco kind of thought about it, and Mercado was hoping he was going to take it, and neither guy took charge of the situation.
Lounsbury to try to win set 2. Good pass. They run Sirocco. Kept alive for a hot second by Lounsbury, but out of bounds. Side out to Nichols, but they need to have another one here to force extra frames. Jack Normandin is probably the guy to do it on the service line.
That's that creative Nichols offense. We got a step route from Sirocco. He fakes running the 3 ball, gets the block to slide, comes back in the middle for the 2 ball, blocks late, is able to find an effective use of that block for a point.
Normandin goes after Fan. It's a tough one. Fan's going to have he's just going to free it over. Time to equalize. Normandin takes the rip and does. 24-all. Win by 2 rule is always an effective men's volleyball. Timeout, Vassar. You hate to see a tough pass and no swing to try to win the set.
Yep, and that's the effectiveness of that Jack Normandin hybrid serve. Fan was sitting deep for the topspin. Normandin decides to make the float contact. He serves it in, throws him out of system, and absolutely, Fan has got to be more effective and aggressive with that out-of-system ball.
So, Rob, your Vassar, you've been in control the entire match, and all of a sudden you find yourself equalized at 24. What are you saying to your guys here?
I'm telling my guys to try and not do too much. We still only need 2 points to win this. While you would have liked to close out set 2 in a more convincing fashion, the real thing is you're not going to make up for those points you lost. So whether you're Jacob Kim, Colin Jones, or Billy Fan, the next play you make doesn't need to be the best of your life. It just needs to be good enough to win the point. I'd be shocked if this ball went anywhere but Jacob Kim or Colin Jones on an in-system pass. And my bet is they're going to go to Jones, knowing that Sirocco's matching up with either Kim or Fan. It looks like Sirocco's going to go out towards Kim on this ball.
Normandin has the ball. They're tied at 24. Nichols and Vassar set 2. Nichols desperately would love to have this set 2. Normandin with a jump float. Takes a rip and misses in. Oh. Ball's out of bounds.
I can tell you we have a pretty good view that ball is out of bounds.
Linesperson signaled in, but the ball's out, and actually no one's complaining, so that's a good
And
good
that
sign.
is the NCAA advantage of having 4 line judges here for our regional this weekend.
So 25-24, Jones to serve to try to finish set 2. Bernardi defensive pass to go right side. And the kill is solidified by Pomainville off the block. And we keep going.
That's a great job of knowing your personnel. Braden takes that swing high and flat. If Akoto dropped his hands, that Wentworth scoreboard might be in danger, but if the hands are there, you might as well use them.
Pomainville, defensive pass right side to Kim. Oh, the dig was okay, but the ceiling got in the way, so it's going to be a free ball to Vassar. Again to Kim. This time he tips over. Too much on it, though, as Sirocco has it. Back row attack from Nichols, and who else? Jack Normandin. The first lead late for Nichols in this match.
8 kills in this set from Normandin. We said they needed to find him more. They have followed through on it. Jacob Kim has got to take a couple more swings. They've got his off-speed scouted. He needs to find ways to score off the block if he's seeing all those hands.
And Pomainville serves at 6 feet long. So we're going to keep going.
Free volleyball on a weekend where we got a lot of volleyball.
Vaughn Ramsey comes in for Erickson. And I think this is their best lineup. Akoto, Fan, and Vaughn Ramsey, though Kim's awesome, of course. But this lineup with Ramsey has caused them a lot of issues for Nichols.
Kim's been attacking zone 1 with his serve.
Defensive serve and pass. And the ball out of bounds by Sirocco. Add in Vassar, 27-26, and now Kim is serving for set 2.
Kim's going to find that 1-6 seam, trying to catch Normandin sleeping, getting ready to run the pick.
Bernardi. They go to Normandin, and Normandin finds the floor.
Swing from Jack Normandin. There is no defending that at all.
He flew. It's a back pick. It's on the back side of the setter, so the block didn't even adjust. And he just flew and terminated back line.
And on top of that, it finds the back foot of the court. You can't dedicate a defender to that space.
Sirocco, defensive pass by Vassar. It's going to be high ball to Ramsey. Ramsey just rolls. Kept alive by Sirocco. Another one for Normandin, who tries to roll over the top, but the net denies him. That's the first error in a while for Jack.
The first rule of tipping, beat the net. The second rule of tipping, beat the block. Normandin is going to want that one back.
28-27. Kim back to serve.
Coach Gary getting an early sub count. I would guess that if Gavin Akoto goes back to serve, they're going to use a serving sub for him.
I think you're right.
But he's hoping it won't get to that point.
So here's Fan. Billy Fan to serve. Takes a rip. Pretty good ball. They're going to go right side. Sirocco dug by Fan. Kim sets the middle. Kept alive for a hot second. But in the end, Akoto gets the kill. and Vassar gets set 2. Hey, Rich, good to see you, buddy.
Great set and a great squeeze to Akoto there. The ability for them to not just run the middles, but to run them effectively in transition was the difference maker in that set, Scott.
All right, you didn't see Rich Gary hug me. That was something weird. And the only reason he did is because he was one of my guys that reached out right away when Johnson & Wales dissolved and was really a supporter of mine. So it's great to see him. But I was like, oh, my God, he's hugging me.
But now you're back in the game.
I'm back in the
College,
game.
Exciting times.
I am, yeah. Wheaton College, Massachusetts. The Lions are starting up a men's volleyball program, and I got them thinking that I might know what I'm doing. So
tell me a little bit about Wheaton. What are we looking at? What's the school like? We've got prospective student athletes listening. Scott, why should I play for you at Wheaton?
Oh, my goodness. I didn't know this was going to happen. I'm blushing. So Wheaton College, small school in Norton, Massachusetts, about 1,700 students, wonderful school, high academic school, really a great campus, over 100 majors. They got a pond in the middle of it, man. I mean, what school doesn't have a pond in the middle?
You got to find some fishermen.
That's what I got to do. So really excited and grateful to be back in the college world and coaching men's volleyball. We start in 2026, and certainly if anyone's interested, you can find me on the web and we'll figure it out. But I'm really excited at the possibilities. Wheaton does a real nice job in terms of their athletics, how they support each other, and they're really doing a nice job right now in baseball and in softball, and actually their swimming stuff is really outstanding. Their artistic swim, they have a national champ over there. Wow. So it's really, really a cool opportunity, and again, massively grateful to be back in the men's volleyball world. So.
Well, we're happy to have you back.
Yeah, that's what I miss, hanging out with you guys. You got some stats for us? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing we need to talk about from set 2, Vassar out-hit by Nichols. 333 for Nichols, 304 for Vassar. Typically, your number one predictor of success is did you out-hit the other team. The big difference, the 4 service aces for Vassar, as well as the 3 team blocks, meaning that there was a little bit of too much terminality, and we talked about it. Normandin in set 2, 10, 3, and 18.
Ooh.
Much better volume for the all-region grad student for the Bison, and he was the reason that set was as close as it was.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you got to do, especially when it's win or go home time. You got to find your horse and use them, and quite frankly, there's not many as good as Normandin in the country, so you want to really take that advantage and run with it. And Nichols did. It's just a couple mistakes here, a couple mistakes there that allowed Vassar to capitalize, which makes me think we're in for a real nice set of volleyball in set 3.
Yeah, if I'm Coach Gary and I don't want to see this set maybe look as close, I talk to my setters about what are we doing with our in-system balls, can we keep the middles pumping, and to our help setters on out-of-system balls, I'm telling them to keep feeding the right sides, get the ball to Vaughn, get the ball to Jacob, let those guys make the decisions. Payne and Billy really both struggled on the attacking side of things in set 2. So maybe we'll see a little bit less volume for those guys as we look into set 3.
So we're here in Boston, Massachusetts at the Tansy Gymnasium on the campus of Wentworth Institute of Technology. We're in set 3 between the number 8 seed and the number 10 seed in the NCAA regional tournament. Vassar and Nichols. Vassar has won the first 2 sets, 25-12, 29-27. So Nichols now in a situation where they're fighting for their seasonal lives here. Meanwhile, lots of confidence with Vassar, but with a point. You win 25-12 in set 1, but 29-27, that's the real deal volleyball. So they have to be careful. This Nichols team extremely dangerous, and Jack Normandin's feeling good, so we're about to start set 3.
The other piece from Vassar, I thought they let their foot off the gas a little bit from the service line. We saw them with 7 errors in set 1, only 2 in set 2, so maybe they need to get back to a little bit more of that aggressive line for some of those knockouts.
So Jones, the set by Erickson is good, but Jones misses wide. This is the first time in this whole entire match that Vassar hasn't started with points.
And it's the first time we've seen an error from one of their middles, so
True.
A good sign for Nichols that they ran the middle and didn't score right away.
High ball to Kim, pushed over by Mercado. I hate that play. But in the end, Kim gets the kill.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, not going to happen to Billy Fan.
Rob, you could ask me to do that line, that idea over and over again. I'll get it wrong every single time. I'm glad you aced it. That's pretty awesome. Lonesbury Good pass by Normandin. They go middle to Sirocco. Rocker goes high hands off of Jones for the kill.
And that's the threat of Jack Normandin. Normally, when you have an all-region middle running at you, you think you'd be able to get 4 hands in front of him. But Fan can't commit there. He's got to wait and see what Normandin does. Where does he go? Is he coming around? Is he going behind? And he just held him a little bit longer, opened up a little path for Sirocco to score.
Normandin with the top jumper. Good pass by Lonsberry because that's a mean serve. Block holds on Kim, but it's going to be a net violation on Sirocco.
Tough break for Sirocco. They got a great positive block touch. Looks like he got it on the turn, said his shoulder was in the net to Coach Foster. But encouraging that they're starting to get some block touches on Jacob Kim there.
Jones to serve, that jump float. Tough pass by Bernardi, but a great play by Mercado to serve it up for Sirocco to take a rip.
That is an impressive angle from Sirocco there. And I want to give Cade Bernardi some love. Not a great start to set 2 for him. A freshman libero, maybe the mentally toughest position in all of volleyball. But for him to pick himself up by his bootstraps, for the last 20 points or so, he's been really solid in serve receive for the Bison.
Martin serves sure and tough. It's going to be a high ball that's sort of pushed over. And a net violation. No, a carry on the set by Erickson.
I'm shocked by that call. A lift or throw is always at the discretion of an official, but that attack didn't look any different from what we've seen from any of the guys who've chosen to go off speed tonight.
Yeah, sort of a weird call there, but Nichols isn't complaining. They'll take it. Fan takes a rip, dug by Mercado because they made a change and pushed him deeper. Counter coming, joust coming, and in the end, Bonneville gets a kill. And Bonneville, much needed positive moment for him. He hasn't really been used much.
Bonneville does a great job. Sometimes on those overpasses, your eyes get so wide you're ready to just go put it away. But he realized there were going to be hands in front of him. Does a great job chiseling off the block with that swing.
Erickson finds Mercado, dig by Mercado. And now a huge rip, dig. Counter, big set by the big guy. It's going over.
Oh!
Kept alive. Free ball. And now a tough set kept alive by Sirocco. The rally continues. And in the end, Kim's going to chop it out of bounds wide.
I'm glad Nichols was able to grab that point.
Because there's some weird stuff that happened.
There were about 3 or 4 contacts more concerning than the one we saw college JV. Oh, and the fans are being called on by Nick Martin. He wants some noise in the gym.
Martin with the serve. Fan, decent pass. He's going to get it back. Takes the rip, slow down good. Coach Foster jumping. And Norman takes a gigantic rip.
If you are a fan of the team in black and green, you are fired up right now, and every single person from Nichols is in that space.
I think Jack Normandin was ready to fight the world there.
I think there was a movie like that. Scott Pilgrim, maybe Jack Normandin. Yeah, Scott Pilgrim out here.
He does look like Scott Pilgrim. So timeout Vassar. They're up 7-2. Largest lead easily in the match for them. And Coach Gary, Rich, time to talk it over a little bit.
I think what they have to talk about is what does your side-out offense look like in this rotation? Right now, they've got Sirocco playing on the left side as a blocker to slow down Jacob Kim. So we're going out to Billy Fan to try and take advantage of Bonneville as a smaller blocker. Well, Mercado is digging the line shot every time. The middle's getting the touch on the hard cross. So where are we going for offense? The pass hasn't been there for Colin Jones or Gavin Akoto. It's Akoto right now. We don't see a lot of back row action, but is there a chance to maybe get Lounsbury on the bick and see if we have Knapp leaving early to get over to Kim? I'm not quite sure, but they haven't been able to find the right answer in this rotation despite having the opportunities.
And I think you actually nailed something else earlier on in that description. Mercado has had a couple of massive digs that weren't happening in set 1 and set 2. That's led to the set 3 charge, 7-2.
He's reading Billy Fan's approach path really well.
Yeah. Tough pass by Lunsbury. They go to Akata, dig by Martin. Normandin out of the back row, and he hits it way out of bounds.
Just too much underneath that one, but great transition dig and great run from Nick Martin. Really got this place on its feet.
Here comes Vaughn Ramsey into the game as A.J. Erickson leaves. And the server will be Andrew Kim. excuse me, not Andrew Kim. Getting so excited, I'm forgetting it's Jacob Kim. Andrew plays for Hobart.
Yeah, they were a pretty cool tandem when they were going together, too.
They must have been, too. Side out for
I
Nichols.
haven't ranked all the big hitters in the country in any sort of order, but I got to imagine Jack Normandin would be up near the top.
I'm telling you, the only guy that I would choose over him is Jacob Boulier. Jacob Boulier comes out of the pipe like no other. Although I haven't seen that Southern Virginia team play yet, so error by Vassar as Fan gets sort of discombobulated by the ceiling. 9-3 Nichols, Bison on a roll.
It was a great touch from Shern, but the Nichols service pressure is finally getting the Brewers out of system, forcing them to be a little bit uncomfortable.
Kim has to just fight to keep that alive, and Fan puts it in the tape. Another mean serve by Sirocco. If you're Vassar, you've done such a great job of getting Sirocco off the service line as quickly as possible. Now you're sort of in trouble as Sirocco's dialing it up. Another mean one, Shern up to the challenge though. They go outside to Vaughn Ramsey, and that's enough to stop that run.
So early in the set, I thought maybe Nichols had made an adjustment and they were going after Lounsbury from the service line. But what I think I'm seeing is that they're putting every ball into 1-6 or zone 1, trying to make the setters receive it over to their shoulder and make it tougher for them to utilize the middle and right side attacking, forcing balls to the outside when available.
Billy Fan. Bernardi with another defensive one set over by Mercado. Shern's been all over Mercado's setting attacks. And Lounsbury misses wide and long. Side out Nichols, and here comes Churko.
That is a break for Mercado, and I like him using his attack in that rotation. You don't have Normandin in the front row. You don't have Sirocco in the front row. You have to remain a threat yourself. Forces an uncomfortable transition attack from Vassar.
Churko back to serve, goes to the jump float, tests Shern, Shern up to it. They're in the middle, Knapp has it, counter coming. They're gonna go to Ramsey, and Ramsey gets the kill.
That is a tight angle from Don Ramsey. I couldn't believe Mercado made a touch where he was standing on the court.
I think Mercado was surprised it was that sharp. He was going, wait a minute, what? And actually, it was a very smart play. He rifled into the net, hoping someone could maybe get under it. Just no one did.
Maybe he was trying to throw it over on first contact since he loved it so much.
Good block by Vassar, stops the middle, and then bad hands by Sirocco.
No question about that. Bad time to have a teammate bump into you right when you're getting ready to set.
Now, is that the one they're looking to eliminate in women's volleyball
next year? It is going away in women's volleyball. I would love to see that rule come to the men's game. There is no advantage in doubling a set that is going to your teammate. It's never good.
Big for Sirocco. Gets past the triple. 11-6 Bison. The Brewers have crept closer to within 5.
And that's so tough as a blocker. You don't know, is Sirocco going to release right, release straight, release left? He almost ended up running an off-center pick, so the block that was committed to Normandin is pulling open and opens up a seam for Sirocco to attack.
Knapp back to serve, and the net gobbles up another one. Though, to be fair, we haven't had nearly as many missed serves as we had in set 1. It's been rather clean since then.
No, yeah, we've had some really good side-out ball. I think both teams have settled into what their strategy is from the 30-foot line, and now it's just a matter of how do you execute that to the best of your ability.
A.J. Erickson has the ball. Jump float coming. Gonna test Churko. It's okay. Normandin has to adjust his route. Normandin's gonna stay on the right side, take another swing, and chop it out of bounds.
That is fantastic wrist work from Jack Normandin. Knows he's getting the transition set. Know he's looking at 4 hands. Not only does he find the outside hand, but a little thumb down finish to make sure the swing goes away off that hand. Really solid work from the heady attacker.
Mercado. Pretty good serve, decent pass. Going to be a tip over, and Kim's going to find the floor in 0.
Coach Foster is upset on that one, but I don't think he has a leg to stand on. That ball looked pretty down from my standpoint.
Bernardi made a very active and athletic move on it, but I agree. I don't think he got underneath it.
If active and athletic was good enough, I'd have a lot more digs in my college career.
Tough pass. They're going to go with a huge piggyback. And Normandin deposits position 1, deep corner. You can't defend that.
Scott, if that was a 10-foot net, it still would have scored.
I love those types of plays. Hide the attacker behind the middle and then come out and boing and kill.
The thing is, I'm not sure it's preordained. I think he's deciding based on where the pass takes him and where the block goes to.
Middle to Jones. Stopped. It's going to be a high ball now for Jacob Kim. Ball's blocked. Kim again. This time misses long. It's tough when you don't get an approach. When you don't get that approach, it's really hard to go deep, and you almost have to use hands.
The positive block touches from these Nichols blockers are getting in the heads of the Vassar players. They can take swings off of hands. They're just not finding the right part of those hands, and they're recycling rather than being aggressive and trying to use them as an opportunity to score.
Tough serve. It's going to lead to another slow down ball, and unfortunately Mercado can't get it. But just to your point, nothing is easy now for Vassar. All the blocks are touching every attack. It's starting to get frustrating.
They're seeing four hands all the time. The service pressure's ticked up. The Vassar serve receives dropped off a bit from what they're used to, and the offense just doesn't look as smooth when they're not running with all three options.
Well, Mainville tips over, dig by Jones, but hits the speaker, and it's going to be a weird free ball. And now here comes Sirocco in the middle, and he misses wide.
And Payne Lounsbury deserves the credit on that one. He saw the way that out-of-system set was moving, and he was all over it, knew where the speaker was at, and that's why the practices and those 25-minute serve passes are so essential, so you learn the venue that you're in.
Bernardo passes a dime. They go to the pick, and that ball's out of bounds, I think. Yep, another kill for Normandin out of the pipe.
Bernardi once again showcasing how important he is to this Nichols serve receive.
Massive.
Been so solid here in set three. And normally when you're serving, you want quiet in the gym. Nick Martin wants the people on their feet.
Nick Martin's part volleyball player, part football player. Roll over by Fan, kept alive. Dig by Shern, counter coming, they run the middle. Dig by Martin. Mercado chases it down. Sirocco's going to get a full swing. Kept alive. Ooh, going to be a weird shot there for Fan. He just tips over. Smart play. Rally continues. Bombill's going to take a rip. Dig is good. And now Kim. And he misses wide, although he's thinking he hit hands. Nobody has it.
One of my most trusted and valued teammates told me the only thing you ever want from a serving sub is 1 point and one dig. Nick Martin has provided that in spades during the set. He might be the X factor of why they have this 7-point lead right now.
If you think about the X factor for Vassar, it's Vaughn Ramsey, and if you think about the X factor for Nichols, it's Nick Martin. Timeout Vassar, 17-10, Nichols in the lead. They've dropped the first two sets, but you got that feeling, kind of like the Red Sox back in the day. Don't let us win one.
And we're looking around the edges a little bit, but the story of sets 2 and 3 and the reason this match has gotten more competitive is still Jack Normandin. Up to 17 kills on the evening, hitting .538. He's got an answer for every defense Vassar has thrown at him so far, whether we're looking at what the back row is doing or the blocking scheme they're trying to apply to him.
He's certainly dynamic. He was dynamic in a Riviera Raider uniform as well, but I think he's taken it to a next level as a Bison. And he's got his team 17-10 in set 3. Coach Gary looking to figure out what he wants to do here. His team reeling 17-10. He's got 2 in the bag, needs 1 more to advance. But things are tough right now for the Brewers.
If we get a quality pass from Vassar here, I wouldn't be shocked to see Kim coming around to the front side trying to get him away from Sirocco, where they might be able to try and find him with a single set of hands in front.
Martin with a serve. Shern passes a dime. You go middle, and that takes it away. It's going to be a free ball. See what Mercado does with it. Back-to-back blocks on the middles, and Mercado gets the point.
Vassar coverage work has been unbelievable. Knapp has had 3 or 4 great grabs, but just can't see any of them go down. And they're not even necessarily transitioning to attack him, but they're just forcing Nichols to beat him rather than living off their own mistakes.
Jacob Kim back to serve. High toss, big rip. Great pass by Bernardi. Allows Knapp to get a swing. And now a back set to Sirocco. Dig good. Going to Vaughn Ramsey. Tough set, but Ramsey makes it work.
Vaughn Ramsey's attack chart is an isosceles triangle. And it goes right from the front right to the back right to the middle of the court. If he's going to hit line, you got to give it up. But we talked about it in set one. You can't let him attack sharp angle. It's exactly what he wants.
If you had isosceles triangle in your bingo card, you have just won ace by Kim, deep corner and one.
That one was pretty close, but regardless of the call, Nichols has to control what they can and not allow one to turn to two here in a snowball effect.
Kim has the ball. Vassar within 4. Takes another rip. Good, decent enough pass. Normandin tries to set over, maybe recycle, but in the end it's going to be a swing for Vassar, who just tips over the block and no one makes a bid.
Billy Fan needed that ball. First kill since set one, and remember, 2 of those kills in set one were off overpasses. So we haven't seen a lot of offense running through him. If he can be a threat, those Vassar middles are going to open way up and Sirocco won't be able to help as hard from the right side.
Kim, the net stops the run, but he did get them close to 4. They did get him to 4 and closer than they've been in set 3. But now Sirocco's at the line, and he's been very dangerous at the service.
It's got to be a first ball side out if you're Vassar. Find out where Ramsey is at and see if he can defend it, because that's where this ball is going.
Overpass by Shern. Bison are going to have a chance. Oh, a tough miss set opportunity there. Now a counter. Ramsey gets blocked and a net violation on Knapp.
That is a good call. There was a net on the way up. Tough break for Nichols. Not able to terminate on the overpass and having Sirocco done in one. But they are in control. They keep siding out. That lead stays the same.
At one time they stopped Vaughn Ramsey and it's a net violation. It's brutal.
It's an absolute backbreaker as a head coach.
Here's Billy Fan. Jump topper. It's a mean one, but Bernardi digs it out. Bonneville one-on-one gets the kill across court, and they needed that, certainly.
And that's the difference between in-system and out-of-system attacking. Bonneville in set one, looking at 4 hands, 6 hands, nowhere to go. Great ball from Bernardi there. Bonneville one-on-one, able to go hard cross and find the point.
Churko in for Bonneville to play his back row. And he's going to serve. They're up 19-15, still that 4-point advantage.
Let's see if they continue to focus their serving zone in that 1-6 seam, trying to make Andrew Kim receive this ball over his shoulder. Something no setter likes to do, and if they tell you they like it, they're lying.
There comes Churko. Decent enough pass to go right side to Ramsey. A defensive dig by Mercado just to get out of the way. And now a dig by Churko on Lounsbury. Kept alive, that's going to be a kill for Normandin. Normandin didn't even take a swing, he just took a chop down the line, and the Vassar defense was not prepared.
Sometimes you dig a ball, and sometimes the ball digs you. That ball dug Mercado, but I'm sure he would do it again if that meant they win the point.
I'm surprised Kim didn't go back to Ramsey. It's okay to go back to your horse in that situation. Gonna run Mercado in the middle, Knapp's over it. Now they're gonna go high ball to Lounsbury, and he uses the block of Knapp and Mercado.
I feel for Dylan Knapp. He might be leading the match in blocked balls that don't cross the net, but he just can't get one to go down.
He's
This
touching
Vassar
everything.
cover work is too strong, too dedicated.
Mercado back to serve. He's had a real nice match. Goes after Churko. They go right side to Sirocco out of the D, and that ball's in if my eyes are good. Great swing by
Last
Sirocco.
time in that rotation, Sirocco released up the center and ran the bick. So Lounsbury's pinched. This time he goes out to the D ball. No one home, open net. You cannot prepare for Nichols every point because I'm not sure they know what they're doing until it starts. So how are you supposed to prep for it?
Well, that's
it's
where
a
he gives,
world of infinite possibilities.
that's where he gives some love to Sirocco. I think he plays every position for this Bison team, short of center.
I'll tell you what, if there's a Tanner Sirocco bingo card going at home, I want to see who doesn't have bingo at this point.
Vaughn comes out, Erickson comes in, 21-17 Bison. Vassar looking to make a move here as they're running out of time for set 3. Remember, they do have sets 1 and 2 in the bank. Be nice to get out of here in 3, but
I think we're going to see Normandin on the slide. We've got Lounsbury on the right. Nope, we go to the D-ball.
D. Back-to-back D-balls terminated by Sirocco.
The end of this set offense for Nichols has been all matchup based. Where is Payne Lounsbury at? Can we get the ball there? And they've really taken advantage of it, and that's one of the reasons their side-out offenses look so smooth here.
And Mercado is such a, would you say a veteran setter? He's thinking matchups the entire way and really doing a nice job.
That guy hasn't seen a volleyball situation that he hasn't been in before.
That's right.
He's got an answer for every move on the chessboard. He's typically a step or two ahead of his teammates, let alone the opposing side.
Schern digs it out, but it's going to be high ball for Kim. Maybe out, no. Fan plays it, counter coming again for Vassar, and this time Kim blasts high, hands out of bounds. This Bison team has two guys like that, Mercado and Normandin, who have seen lots and lots of volleyball. They've done a lot of game, and they know how to do it.
A lot of people go to college for 6 years. You know what they're called?
Doctors! Lounsbury. Good pass by Churko. They run the middle for Sirocco. And miscommunication between Fan and Schern. That's an easy ball.
And that's the difference between a freshman libero this year for Vassar and a senior libero last year. You're just not sure. You're not quite ready to take command. 3 weeks ago, there's no question. This moment, this stage, you're just a little bit shaky on it.
23-18 Bison. Nichols ready to put set 3 to bed. And Normandin has the ball at the service line. Schern fights to keep it alive. Jones squeezes it through.
As a setter, the most important thing you can do for your middles is consistent hand placement. For A.J. Erickson to be able to squeeze that ball from a crouch position and Jones to be open to it, what a run.
So Jones to serve. Vassar in sort of a tough situation here. They got to get a couple of stops. That's not going to do it by Jones. It is set point for the Nichols Bison.
Maybe the best and most apt nickname in college volleyball. They don't call him Jumpin' Jack Normandin for no reason.
And now Nick Martin, who's been firing up the crowd the entire set 3, looking to finish set 3 himself at the service line. But the net denies him his glory. There'll be other chances, though.
Nick Martin could miss every serve he has for the rest of the night, and he still did his job.
That's true.
He was the one who separated them here in set 3. He's re-engaged this crowd. He has been invaluable to this Bison squad tonight.
So timeout, Coach Foster, as Nichols will ice the Vassar side at the service line. I know in my gym, and certainly probably in yours as well, like we play these types of games all the time. 24-20, 24-17, see if you can get out of it.
I love hearing that. We have a drill. I took it from a very close friend, Justin Beachy, head coach of the Messiah.
Here's how old I am. I recruited Justin Beachy.
There you go. Shout out to Beachy. I hope you're watching at home, bud.
He told me no pretty quick, but
he's a Messiah guy through and through. Perfect vision. The score set at 20-20. You have to win at 24 or you slide back down to 20.
Nice.
It just goes to show, not only do you not want to let the other team back in it, but you want to close out with authority and carry that momentum. So I love this timeout from Coach Foster to say, hey, it is important that we close this set out right here, right now.
Yeah, don't take anything for chance. If you can get this set 3 win, now the pressure's all on Vassar in set 4. And anything happens in set 5, so you just have to win this one certainly, put the pressure on Vassar for set 4, and then game on.
You know, I once sent a proposal to the ABCA about set 5. I said it should be first team to go up by 2, just straight deuce.
Oh, that's cool. I like that a lot.
Do you serve or receive? Who do you start with?
Oh, lots of options. I like it. I like it. That's kind of like that idea where all basketball games at the professional level should be to 100. So you just 100. Whoever gets to 100 first. Time doesn't matter. Go.
Shout out to the Elam ending.
24-20. Vassar on the wrong side of this one.
And we've got a blocking sub in. Andrew Guaragno coming in a little bigger, a little bit more physical than Billy Finn. They did that against us this year. It worked out pretty well.
You go after Bernardi, who passes a pretty good ball. Bonneville's going to hit wide. So one set point staved off for Vassar.
If you're Jacob Kim, we talk about toeing the line. You need 3 straight balls in, but you've got Knapp and Sirocco up. You can't just toss balls in without any heat. He's in a really tough spot here.
Bernardi again, a little bit tougher pass. And Knapp finally gets that kill he's been looking for. And the first set victory for Nichols. Here we go.
Dylan Knapp picked a good time to find his tempo with Carlos Mercado. Huge kill, set 4. This is the match we expected, Scott.
I think he let out some frustration on that rip.
Yeah, we might have to swap that game ball out after that swing.
So the teams will switch sides. Vassar up 2-1. Nichols gets there first in emphatic fashion. And now we got ourselves a ball game. Coach Wingard and I are back, and we have some statistics for you. So Nichols won the last set 25-21. Vassar up 2-1. Vassar won the first set 25-12. Vassar won second set 29-27. Then the Bison break through in set 3, 25-21. Jack Norman's got 19 kills, leading the entire players in the match. 19-3-28, hitting a 571, which is outstanding. He's got 5 digs. And let's see here. It looks like just a block on, but 19 kills for Jumpin' Jack as he's doing work. Meanwhile, 12 for Tanner Sirocco as well. 3 to 5 of them came out of the D ball on the back row, and they were very crucial in set 3. He's also got 3 aces and 5 digs. So that's the situation for...
And I think the important thing to point out with those Nichols attackers, 28 of the 31 combined kills from Normandin and Sirocco coming in sets 2 and set 3. Really doing a better job of featuring your all-region attackers, and Carlos is letting those guys go up and make plays for him.
So Nichols in set 3, 16 kills, 4 errors on 31 attempts, hit a 387, sided out 71% of the time. For Vassar, they're led by Vaughn Ramsey with 10 kills, no errors on 14 swings, a 714. Find the big fellow with the beard. That's always a good thing in my opinion. Jacob Kim, 9 kills, 4 errors on 26 for a 192. Colin Jones, 8 kills for them. Meanwhile, 17 assists for Erickson, 17 assists for Kim, 33 for Mercado, I forgot to say for the Bison. And in set 3, Vassar, 12 kills, 6 errors on 34 swings, a 176. First time they're below 300, and they only side out 60% of the time.
And people will say it's sacrilegious, but only 1 service error for Vassar in set 3. They've got to be more aggressive in the line. They controlled serve pass in set 1 when they missed 7, so they've got to get back to that level of aggression, trying to get Nichols out of system and seeing if they can slow down that offense that's been prolific since set 2.
Set 1, they were serving rifle shots. I mean, those things were launched. And as you said, they've pulled back a little bit on the heat, and it's allowed Nichols to run offense. And that's led to the situation we're in. Bernardi with an overpass. And now a ball that's going to be set and run by Jones, and Jones gets a kill over Balmainville.
Braden Pominville, middle freshman. He's done a great job for Nichols all year long. Just a little bit of a mismatch with him and Colin Jones, former All-American. They're going to try to pump Jones during these rotations and really take advantage of that matchup there.
Tough pass. They're going to go out of the back row. Kept alive. And now another swing for Normandin. Another kill for Normandin. No approach on that. Just bounce and hit. And he got the job done off the block.
If I were Coach Andre Foster, the only thing I would ever tell Jack to do is be patient. Even there on a no-approach swing, he was behind the ball. He was able to find an edge and still score. When he's behind it, he's nearly unstoppable with his vision.
Shern, good pass. Jacob Kim's going to get a good rip. Somebody's down.
It's Tanner Sirocco.
Sirocco's down. They're going to call the play dead and do an injury situation here.
I think he landed on a foot when the middle blocker was closing, or maybe a little bit of a knee buckle. He's not writhing, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, hopefully it's just one of those situations where, because when you get an injury in men's volleyball, you're more scared at the beginning than anything else. And then you kind of figure out, hey, I'm okay, and you pop up. That's what we're hoping for here.
And I'm going to knock on wood. I say it all the time. It's amazing how coordinated and resilient our athletes are. There's so many bodies jumping in such a tight space. It's amazing it doesn't happen more frequently. So let's hope that it's nothing major for Tanner here as he's getting some treatment from the Nichols athletic training staff here on site.
It's a great point, Coach. That center line underneath the net, that belongs to everybody, both teams. So you can land on it anytime you want. It's amazing that there isn't more, activity where people land on each other. But it looks like Sirocco's okay, which is great.
Up on 2 feet. I don't see a limp. Win-win in my book.
Everybody good? Replay the point. Let's roll. Yep, he's doing a little bouncing on one.
It is definitely a left ankle that was uncomfortable because you never jump off 1 foot unless you're testing what your stability looks like.
That's right. That's right.
And we have Cheryl, Director of Athletics at Wentworth. In Division III, you got to wear every hat, and sometimes that includes custodial engineering. Is that offered here at Wentworth?
It must be. They offer everything here, don't they? So we're tied at 1. Sirocco's in good shape, and Kim and Sirocco check on each other to make sure everybody's good. And again, really grateful nobody got hurt. Awesome stuff. Let's continue this awesome match as Mercado will serve. Deuce at 1, set 4. Shern passes a very good ball. They run the middle to Jones, and Jones goes over Palmainville again. Palmainville, they usually don't have him there. It's just one rotation where he has to play middle. Normally Sirocco would be there. But that's what Vassar's seeing and trying to match up. Go
Jacob Kim. They have Sirocco in front of Kim, so you got to give up something, and Vassar's keyed in on it right now.
Lounsbury. Tough pass by Normandin, so he's going to have to see a very strong block. And Mercado tries to set over on 2. Does not work. The net claims another victim. Side out for Vassar.
It's a tough play for Mercado because you can't even take the ball above the net. He's in the back row. So he's walking a really thin line, super risk reward.
Lounsbury up 3-1, set 4. Tough toss. It's going to be sort of a just get it in there serve. And Sirocco bounces up in the position 1 and gets the kill.
Kim's upset with himself. He knows on an in-system pass, he's got to be glued to help on the middle because they've got a blocker dedicated to Normandin and recovered out to the outside. Just left too much space between him and Jones.
Jack Normandin making a massive impact last set. Actually, a massive impact of this whole match. As they find Jones again. That's the matchup. Palmainville and Jones.
Vassar serve receives, 3 calling Jones side outs. And I'll tell you what, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
You keep doing it. That's one of the things that a lot of people don't know about volleyball. It's just a game of mean girls. You find it and pick it and go.
My dad coached college soccer for 35 years, and he said volleyball is the meanest sport he's ever seen in his life.
Oh, what a beautiful swing by Normandin. He actually took it from behind his head and deposited it right in position 5 in the deep corner. Nothing you can do about that.
I don't know if he's got, an air tag back there or something, but he specifically loves the back right corner on this side of the court.
Martin to serve. Shern fights to keep that ball from hitting the ground. Then a huge swing by Kim, and it finds the deep corner. No, the hand's off the block, I guess. Either or, it's going to go to Vassar.
And I stay so impressed by the 2 freshman liberos. Obviously, we know Bernardi got off to a shaky start, but has really settled in. Tucker Schern has had some incredible touches, especially some of these balls that have ricocheted and redirected off the net. He's done a great job keeping alive.
And here comes Vaughn Ramsey, who's my pick for the X-Factor guy for this Brewers side. He's done a real nice job. And Jacob Kim will serve. He puts a lot of pressure on the service line, as we've seen. Jump topper. Bernardi up to the challenge. It's a pearl. But unfortunately, Knapp hits it wide.
And this is one of the toughest pieces of volleyball when it comes to the mental standpoint. Knapp wasn't finding offensive success early. It looks like they've adjusted his tempo a little bit, and now it's adjusting his attack zones, his location, his arm dynamism, and he just can't find his rhythm.
Kim, a bullet. Kept alive by Mercado.
That one looks good from Knapp.
And a net violation on Mercado.
There's nothing more satisfying as a setter than when you get an out-of-system kill from your middle there. Just kind of throw it out there like, hey, man, go deal with it. Going back to freshman year 2 balls.
Exactly. High ball, man. Get it. Do what you got to do. Sirocco back to serve. He's been deadly from back there, and that's a monster one. But we'll see who's going to affect that. That's going to continue to affect the play, and it's going to be a side out. Bison's ball.
I can tell you that Kenyon Hall and Poughkeepsie has a little bit more room than Tansy here. And Jacob can't help but smile because he knew that set was going exactly where he wanted until it wasn't.
Sirocco again from the service line. This one a little bit easier to manage. Kim has to fight it off, and it leads to a roll shot. Here comes the Bick. And another kill for Normandin.
That's the difference between roll shots and off speed versus man ball. Normandin could have seen 10 hands in front of him. You know what he was doing? Taking a full rip on that.
One of the guys I used to know played for Riv, Kevin Harrington, used to say only good things happen when you hit the ball hard. And Normandin is not messing around right now. Another swing from Knapp in transition. We're tied at 6. Timeout, Vassar.
It's a great transition run to Knapp. In set 1, I was giving Nichols a hard time about their lack of transition offense. They've turned the tide. And if you're running the middle in transition, that's the peak of what you can be doing, having all 3 options going.
And also, kudos to Knapp. Sometimes in the middle in transition, you have no chance to get an approach. You just have to be up. And that's happened there. He didn't get an approach, just popped up, bang, and finished the job.
And on top of that, some great movement. He didn't just do a 2-step turn and be available for the 1 ball. He got away, forced the opposing middle to track him, and then was able to find a sharp angle when Akoto fronted a little bit too far.
So good volleyball here in Tansy Gymnasium, Boston, Massachusetts. And we haven't even gotten to Wentworth Lancaster Bible yet.
There is so much good volleyball all around the country this weekend. Next time we get a break, I'll try to get an out-of-town scoreboard up. But I also want to shout out, we got a lot of volleyball talent in the gymnasium. I think I see 4 or 5 LaSalle men's volleyball players in the gym. I saw an MIT shirt. And that's one of the best things you can do for yourself and for your program is go see what does the highest level look like. You want to get to the NCAA tournament, you've got to see the NCAA tournament in person.
And both those programs, LaSalle, MIT, both high-level programs, been doing it well for a long time. I see that Wentworth Institute Technology, their team is in the building. I see LeBou getting at least bouncing a little bit for the big fella.
He's easy to spot from anywhere, though.
That's true. Sirocco with the serve, 7-6. Bison Schern fights it off. It's going to be a high ball to Vaughn Ramsey. All he can do is tip. Bernardi has it. Counter coming. Dig by Kim. Mercado. Bick to Normandin. Fans got the dig. Now Ramsey's going to take a real swing. Normandin chases, overpass, and Akano does exactly what you teach middles to do. Take it with 2 hands and throw it to the floor.
Vassar has got to get more aggressive out of system. Vaughn's 6'6". If I had a 6'6" guy tipping in my gym, there'd be some problems. You want to see some daddy hacks from those guys.
High hands expand is really what happens mostly for pins in that out-of-system situation. But you're right, Vassar playing it safe often. This Normandin-led team, although there's an ace by Fan, this Normandin-led team with Sirocco, their counterattack is too good. You got to put pressure on them.
Fan was the difference early in set 1 from the service line. His offense hasn't been there, but the passing and serving still has. If he can get going, maybe it'll ignite some offense for him as well.
Fan back to serve. Vassar with a 1-point lead, 8-7. Bernardi passes another Pearl. He's doing a great job now. But that ball by Sirocco way out of bounds, out of the back row. Tough miss for the senior.
I wasn't sure if the D-ball led him too much there, but when you've got that matchup with Lounsbury, you've got to swing. It's all 4 rotations here. You can take advantage of that size and athleticism, but he's got to do it with a full attack.
2-point advantage, 9-7 for Vassar. Van, big jump serve, but that one's long, side out to the Bison. And just like last set, stay between 1 and 2 and then make your move at the end. Bison are already in good shape.
And even there, you might be upset at home. Oh, he missed his serve, but he picked up 2 points before that. You'll take that trade every day of the week at high-level Division III men's volleyball.
Churko comes in for Martin. He'll serve. Good pass by Fan. They go right side. And Norman and hoods Ramsey. What a great block by jumping Jack Normandin.
First error of the day for Ramsey, and Normandin makes sure it's going to be one to remember. Frog jump, grab that clip. You're going to want that block going viral.
Churko gonna float. Fan passes another Pearl. They go back to Ramsey, and this time Ramsey terminates with aggression.
And Scott, that's what you talked about earlier. It's okay to go to the repeat set.
When I work with teams at the high school level, that's my main thing. It's about matchups and it's about going to your guy. You can do it multiple times if he gets stopped in the rally. Go right back to him, let him do work. Right side to Normandin, that's a real tough play. Having to cross between the 2 players, then try to find your footing. That time Jack errors, but again, very challenging what he's trying to do there.
I've seen him run the slide from rotation 6 when everyone's on the left to allow Knapp to go in front for you to come behind. There's just a lot of clunk in that.
A lot of stuff going on in that play. Good pass by Churko. They run the middle. Can Nakato get there? No. Knapp gets the kill.
And that's great communication and knowledge from the Nichols side to know, hey, Vassar's got a middle serving. There's no libero on the floor. If Tucker Shern's on the floor, that ball's picked up. Middle's not typically as agile defensively. They take it on. Oh, and the crowd erupts.
Who we got? Number 3, Sakayo Kakati. Hey, I said it right in the first try. I'm so happy. Kakati with the serve, but the net denies. He was serving for Knapp.
The Vassar bench letting him know that he had one job there, so tough break for Kakati.
Look, it's always hard being a serve specialist. It's not the easiest of jobs. It's kind of like coming in as a relief pitcher and throwing one pitch. It's really very challenging to do.
We tell our serving subs all the time, the number one thing I want you to bring to the floor is good energy. If everyone's smiling when you leave, you still did a good job.
I like that a lot. Overpass from Bernardi. Finally, he's been disrupted. They try to go Jones, and they misses.
I don't know if Jones missed on that one or Erickson missed on that one. They've been trying to take advantage of that Jones matchup all set long. First time it hasn't proven true for them.
So 12-11. Vassar has the lead. Mercado with the serve. It's sort of tough pass. It's going to be a high ball that Kim throws down into the block. He was above the block and threw it into it.
Typically, when you're trying to swipe off the block, it might be a set that's low or a set that's tight. But that was a perfect set that he swiped off the top of the block. Jacob Kim is built different.
He just is. What a great player. Lounsbury. Very good serve. Norman is going to take a rip and get Lounsbury back.
Lounsbury serves from zone 5. It's a really untraditional angle for a righty. And I know he loves to test those guys down the line, but I probably wouldn't be testing Normandin. You've got the most space in the cross court. Crack it that way.
I think you have to freeze the big guy when he's running, and Normandin's doing runs. You gotta get him off the floor. Not off the floor, but at least freeze him out. Shern passes a Pearl. They go right side to Kim. And Kim gets the kill off of Bonville's hands.
Adjustment from Jacob Kim here in set 4. In set 3, I was getting on his case. He was being too reserved. He was afraid to make errors. And now he's attacking hands high, hard, with purpose, and it's translating to points for the Brewers.
You can just see it. He's taking full swings now. He's not messing around. Jones goes at Bonville. Bonville's up to it. It's going to lead to another kill by Pomainville. Got a feeling this set's going to be close here on out, just like set 3.
It's a great play from Billy Fan, though. Sirocco's in the middle. You've got to stay to double. You recover to the right side. He gets a positive block touch out of it. Vassar defense is caught on their heels. But great knowledge from Mercado, knowing the block would be late.
Good pass. Fan takes a rip. The ceiling's going to help the cause this time. That doesn't happen very often. Lounsbury with the dig. They run the middle to Akado, and there's the middle matchup that Dave like a lot. Akado has done a lot of good work for this Vassar side.
And another great touch from Nick Martin. I'm not sure I've ever said the name of someone so much who plays half a rotation.
So Jacob Kim back to serve. Vassar up 15-13.
I'm going to see if we can find some bigger towels between sets, Scott. These ones are a little tiny.
Those towels are a little bit on the short side.
Taking a beating, too.
15-13, Vassar with the lead. Kim back to serve. He's been very tough from the service line all day. And he misses wide.
And for folks at home, because I know there's been some moments, a 4-line judge system works differently than a 1 or 2-line judge system. They're calling their lines, so you might say that ball was out by this much. They're calling what they're supposed to. I promise you they're doing their jobs.
Outside to Ramsey, and he absolutely takes off and gets a hard ball at Normanton that goes out of bounds. Ramsey continues to be the guy that makes the changes for this Vassar team.
He has been a mismatch hunter all night. The only time he hasn't had success is when he's had Normanton lined up across from him.
So timeout, Coach Foster and Nichols, they're going to talk it over. It's 16-14 Vassar. And right now, the memento feels to be with that Vassar side, but it's a close set. And we got plenty of good volleyball to continue.
And speaking of good volleyball, there's good volleyball all around the country today. We've got one final result. Stevens Institute of Technology, the #1 overall seed in the tournament, took care of Hiram in 3 sets, some quick work. Last time I checked, we had Loris hosting their regional and also hosting the national championship. They're up 1-0 on Trine University in their first NCAA tournament appearance. And we are experiencing some technical difficulties, so I will get you an update from Virginia on Southern Virginia and St. Joe's Long Island when I have the chance. But some good volleyball happening all over, and it will continue to be that way all weekend long, Scott.
I always love this time of year when you got just the best of the best going at it, and you get to see the premier level of volleyball, the Division III side. One of the other things I like to talk about is how the difference between D1 and D3 and D2 and NAI, it's not much. It's all the same war.
It is the smallest gap of any sport with an NCAA championship. Changed my mind.
I'm with you 100%. You're preaching to the choir. 16-14 Vassar. They have the ball. Here comes the serve. Going to test Bernardi. He's up to it. They go right side. D-ball to Sirocco, and Sirocco again uses the block and gets it out of bounds for the kill.
I'm not sure if we had a D-ball or a C-ball from Sirocco there, but it ended up with a K at the end, and that's all that matters.
It's a lot of
good job of staying high on the block.
A lot of letters there, but the K is what you want.
I was an alphabet major in college.
Oh, congrats, man. I was political science, and I want it back. Cherko back to serve. Shern, okay pass. They're going to go outside of Lounsbury, and he's going to one on Mercado and rifles it home. That's one of the things that happens in these big boy matchups. You have your top attackers who are always getting volume, but when it matters most, oftentimes you're going to go to your secondary attacker. It's a one-on-one because everyone's betting on that other attack. Good things are going to happen.
I tell my centers all the time, Scott, know where your bread is buttered, but make sure you know where your other toppings are at too. You might want some jelly. You might want some jam. It's not always going to be the butter.
There's the serve short. Bernardi has it. They go outside to Normanton, and he goes right over the top of the big boys.
My guess was that the idea was maybe jamming up Sirocco coming out of the back row, but you also have to remember that he's got Normanton and Knapp in the front row, so maybe not be as worried about what's coming out of the back row there.
That's Casey McMenamin, who came in to serve for Vassar, served short. In the end, it's still a side out for Nichols, and now Dylan Knapp will toss it for the jump topper. Great pass by Fan. They run the middle to Jones. They get the ball back. They go Jones again. I love this going back to back, but the Bison are up to it. Now they're going to go outside. Owensbury tips over. Mercado keeps it alive. And in the end, it's going to fall for a kill as Beaumainsville tries to keep it alive.
I love that Knapp took a full swing at the A-ball. It's the NCAA tournament. No time to send free balls.
Let's get big rips and see what happens.
Golden rule, don't reach back.
Yeah.
There's a difference between reaching up and reaching back, and you got to know that.
Yeah, it is the golden rule. You really try to tell middles, don't reach back in. We have the defense designed to pick up tips, so don't be in that world.
Coach Foster is upset about something there, and I didn't see anything from the play that would warrant an argument.
Nothing jumped out at me as being sort of out of line. The officials have been quite good, in my opinion.
And if he's trying to slow the match down, I can appreciate that craftsmanship. That's a totally different story.
There you go. Serve from Vassar. Churko. It's going to lead to a free ball, maybe even out of bounds. It is. It's a hitting error as there's a mixed communication on the routes for Sirocco and whomever else.
I think Sirocco was on a bick. Normandin was on the outside, and it looked like we had either seen a C-ball set for Sirocco, or maybe he thought Normandin was coming around, but just a little bit of a miscommunication from the Nichols group there.
Erickson served two, but the net denies him. 19-17, Vassar with the 2-point advantage. Mercado back to serve.
Mercado's been ripping every ball to zone one. We've seen them all go to Jones. If he can get him out of system, I want to see where the Vassar offense goes.
Shern fights it off. It's going to be a high ball to Kim. And Kim gets absolutely hooded. Sirocco and Beaumainsville deny the swing.
And that's where that out-of-system piece is so important. You take Jones out of the game. You like your chances with Sirocco on Kim. Do you go back to Lounsbury and trust him in the one-on-one?
Well, we're going to find out. Erickson runs the middle instead. Great dig by Bernardi. Counter coming. Slow down complete, though. Vassar's going to get a swing. They go high ball to Kim. Kim takes a full rip. Does he find the floor or not? No, he does not. He misses.
Cade Bernardi take a bow. One-arm scoop off the one ball from Jones. That's the reason he's the Region 1 Libero of the Year.
Tied at 19. Vassar's going to call a timeout. Huge play by the Bison to equalize the situation. We're in set 4. Tied at 19 apiece.
So one thing we haven't mentioned a bunch today, when Vassar is in the out-of-system situations, most teams have their liberos take that second ball. Frequently, you see the Vassar outsides take it, so they don't have to worry about the 10-foot line. But what I've been really curious about is that they're keeping Kim and Vaughn 8 feet off the net. Those guys are athletes. Get them up tighter. Let them make some decisions. And even on that last ball, you see Kim trying to rotate it down the line. That's really hard to do on an out-of-system ball from the left pin.
Yeah, that set, in my gym, I try to be real specific with that set. I want it 3 feet off, 3 feet in. And if you're not going to run that set, the further off, the worse it gets to try to score. Now you're at the further off, you're thinking, hey, I have to do something that makes them uncomfortable, so maybe they go into high ball, we can send three.
We used to operate by that same rule, but I'm going to give a shout out to my old assistant, Ian Kapp. He did some demonstrating with John Sparad at the AVCA convention, and he said all they try to do is set the ball on top of the net and let their attackers go make decisions.
Interesting.
With the swipe game that's in today. And another big shout out to Ian, getting married on Saturday.
Hey, congrats, Ian. Also news. Mercado back to serve. Owensbury passes a Pearl. He's going to get it back. Going to take a huge rip. Big dig by Mercado. High ball to Normandin. 3 are coming. And Normandin breaks through.
Vassar found the one-on-one. They got the swing. Mercado made the dig. They had 6 hands in front of Normandin. Didn't matter. He's a man possessed today.
Mercado with a 1-point lead. Overpass coming. No, but Erickson keeps it in play and makes a tremendous set to Jones, who just pushes it to the floor.
That's great discipline from Colin Jones. Sometimes when you're in the middle, you see the angle, you see the set, and you're thinking, oh man, I can put that ball at 4 feet. Takes the free point.
Sometimes as a middle, you're the only option they have, so you better be up. Decent pass from Normandy. He's going to get it back. Block holds. And now back to Normandy. Roll shot. And Fan touches it, rolls over to Kim, and Kim doesn't have it.
Normandy is like the guy you call to fix something in your house. You're not sure what it needs, but you're sure he can get the job done. He's got every tool in his bag.
21-20 Nichols. Normandy has the ball. If you're Vassar, you need a side out here, and you're going to get it as Normandy hits the ball, and it goes dead center of the net. 21 apiece. Jones back to serve. Front line of Akata, Fan, and Kim. That's a good one. Gonna go right side, D-ball, and I think he misses. Yes, Normandy misses.
Man, but once again, the creativity. How often do you have your 0-1 running a D-ball when you've got three guys front row options? Normandy just misses, but I love the creativity from Nichols.
There's no question that Python are a real tough puzzle to figure out, but this one's going to be a free ball. See what Vassar does with it. They go right side to Kim, and he terminates deep six. 2-point advantage, 23-21, timeout Nichols.
The tough piece of transition situations for Nichols in this rotation. You don't have Normandy in the front row, and you can't move Sirocco right away. So you've got Kim matched up on Bonneville, and that's advantage Jacob Kim all day. I expect any Vassar transition attack to be through the right side when they're in this rotation.
So 23-21, Nichols has to call a timeout. Their season in the balance. Vassar looking to finish this one off in advance to play tomorrow against the winner of Wentworth and Lancaster Bible.
And we have got a couple more good ones coming up there. Lancaster Bible, champions of the UEC, have their conference player of the year, conference defensive player of the year. Wentworth, you're saying the same thing. You've got the GNAC offensive player of the year, the GNAC defensive player of the year. The GNAC has so many all-conference teams, I think every Wentworth guy was listed.
Yeah, there's a lot of awards for those Leopards. There wasn't many else. And that's how it used to be back in the day. Like, Riviere dominated for a while, then LaSalle broke through, now Wentworth has been in charge. And when you have good teams like that, you get the take those awards and run. So here we are, 23-21, Vassar up 2, looking to finish. They're up 2-1. We play best of 5 here. Jones has the ball. Nichols desperate for a side out. Bernardi, pretty good pass. They run the big to, oh, what a great slowdown by Ocado. They're going to run counter. He's going to get it back. He's going to score.
That is unbelievable discipline from Ocado. Doesn't pause with the middle, waits and waits and waits on the pick, gets the positive block touch. Vassar fans and Nichols fans are on their feet. Possible match point for Vassar.
Match point. Jones goes after the Nichols outside hitter. It's going to be really an opportunity for Normandy to use hands, and he does.
What a swing from Sirocco. If those hands weren't there, that ball might still be rising right now.
Oh, it was Sirocco. It wasn't Normandy. Blocked by the pole. But yeah, what
There's
a great...
There's a lot of way, Scott. Don't worry about it.
Great play by Sirocco to keep his team alive. In comes Martin to serve. They're pushing 2. All Vassar needs is 1 to advance to the next round. Martin with the serve. Let's see where Vassar goes. Decent pass for Lonsberry. They go to the middle, and Ocado gets the job done. Vassar advances. So Vassar with the victory. Ocado with the final kill. And Vassar, the Brewers, will play the winner of Wentworth and Lancaster Bible tomorrow. Great match between these two clubs. So Vassar wins the match. They won first set 25-12, the second set 29-20-17. Nichols came back in set 3, 25-21. And Vassar finishes the job 25-22. So the number 8 team holds the number 10 team at bay and advances to Saturday. Very good showing for this Nichols side. They did an excellent job. I'm waiting to get stats on the entire match. But we're bringing out the awards for the Nichols side as their season will come to a close. So I have the stats of the match in my hand. Set 1, 25-12 Vassar. Set 2, 29-27 Vassar. Set 3, 25-21 Nichols. And set 4, 25-22 Vassar. Let's go with the Bison first. In set 4, 14 kills, 6 errors, and 27 attempts for a 296. Side up 60% of the time. If we're talking kills, you're talking Jack Normandin, 26 kills, 5 errors on 41 swings for a 512. An excellent match for the graduate student. 17 receptions, 6 digs total, and 1 block. Normandin outstanding in this match. Tanner Sirocco, 15 kills, 6 errors, and 32 swings for a 281, 3 aces, and 7 digs and a block as well. Dylan Knapp, 6 kills, 4 errors on 15 swings. 2 blocks for him. Carlos Mercado, 2 kills, 44 assists, 9 digs and a block. Bryce Bonville, 2 kills. Braden Palmainville, 2 kills. And that's pretty much where we're at. Let's see here. Nick Martin had an ace, Tanner Sirocco had 3. And the digs, 9 for Mercado, 7 for Sirocco, 6 for Normandin, and Bernardi with 4. For Vassar, set 4, 16 kills, 4 errors, and 29 swings for a 414. Side out 68% of the time. The Brewers are led by Jacob Kim with 13 kills on 6 with 32 swings with 6 errors, hitting at 219, at 21 assists, 2 aces, 3 digs, and 3 blocks. Outstanding game for Mr. Kim. Vaughn Ramsey, 12 kills, 1 error, and 20 swings for a 550. He had 1 dig as well. He was outstanding on the offensive end. Colin Jones, 12 kills, 2 errors, and 19 swings for a 526. 4 digs, 3 blocks. Gavin Akoto, 9 kills, no errors, and 18 swings, hit a 500. Had a huge moment at the end in set 4 where he did everything but take tickets. Excellent job. 1 dig and 1 block for him as well. Billy Fan, 4 kills and 3 digs, 2 blocks. Payne Lonsberry, 4 kills and 1 ace, 6 digs. 28 assists for A.J. Erickson. He also had 3 digs as well, 3 aces. Billy Fan had 5 aces. Jacob Kim had 2, 3 for A.J. Erickson. Woo! So Vassar moves on to play the winner of Wentworth and Lancaster Bible. And that match will start in probably 30 to 45 minutes. So we're going to take a break, get ready for match number 2. I want to thank you all for listening in for the Nichols Vassar's NCAA regional matchup. Wentworth Lancaster Bible will be in 30 to 45 minutes. And then tomorrow, the winner of both groupings will play. So Vassar will either play Wentworth or Lancaster Bible. Don't have that time yet, but I will soon. And Thank you, everyone, for watching. Hope you tune in for the next match. And enjoy the rest of your Friday and weekend. We'll be back in about 40 minutes. You're listening to the NCAA Men's Volleyball Division III and Regional Championships held at Tansey Gymnasium on the campus of Wentworth Institute of Technology in Boston, Massachusetts. For Coach Wingart, Scott Reslow, thank you so much, and we'll see you for the next match in 40.